So, the last two presentations, which is me, when I can find it, there it is, and Brady, were just really thinking about money, cash, helping you to think about ways of earning more money. I'm not going to stand here and tell you how to do it. What I'm going to do is just talk about a few things, and hopefully it'll set you thinking different ways, different things, and maybe you'll start to eke out a bit more cash from your jobs. So, we're going to talk about maximising customer value. Anybody hazard a guess how much more expensive it is to get a new customer than it is to sell to an old customer, an established customer? Any ideas? Apparently, it's at least 5 times more to get a new customer than it is to get and sell to an old customer. It's quite a lot, isn't it? You imagine if you've got 100, 150, 200 customers on your database, they're a captive audience, ready to be sold to, yet we're all very focused, as I think James mentioned it earlier on getting new customers, because that's what we do. We think we have to get new customers all the time, but we don't. You've all got a very established database of old customers. All right, they might not get rats every other week, but that customer who had rats might get cluster flies about this time of year. They might get a wasp nest come April, May, or bees April, May next year, or a wasp nest in August, September time. What you want to be doing is making sure that if they are going to call a pest controller, you want it to be you. You don't rely on them and hope that they're going to find your number in their phone. You don't rely on them having to find your business card, which is with 200 other business cards, if it's anything like my office, in a pot somewhere. You want to be able to make sure that you're top of mind and they're calling you. I'm obviously not very good at this clicker thing. Is it left or right, Tails? Centre, top, there we go. Maybe it's that one. There we go. But we still do. I mean, people still chase new customers. You see all these kind of offers every day of the week. Paddy Power trying to get you to spend 30 quid, but they're giving you 30 quid if you spend 10 quid. It just costs a lot of money to get new customers in. Look at all this shit Sky giving away to get a new customer. Free HD box, 50 quid's worth of M&S vouchers, free broadband and calls. Why are they doing it? Because they know once they've got a customer, they've got an audience to sell to, and they keep selling to them. So it's no coincidence that you get emails from Sky if you're a Sky customer. You get stuff through the door if you're a Sky customer, that they text message you as a Sky customer, because they know once you've bought from them, you're much more likely to buy from them again. And that's a great, the psychological aspect of that can be put into the stuff we do. So a lot of you I've spoken to in one-to-ones, I've probably banged on about getting email addresses. Great opportunity to just keep sending non-salesy stuff to your audience. And the probability of selling to that existing customer is 60 to 70%, while the probability of selling to a new prospect is anywhere between 5 and 20%. So we've got to get 5, let's say we get the 20% and we're pretty good. We've got to get 5 clicks on our pay-per-click to get an opportunity to speak to a customer. It could be as high as 20 if we're not performing at the 20% and we're performing at the 5%. It gets bloody expensive. And Sean was talking earlier on about the mix between pay-per-click and natural listings. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but the more you can sell to your existing client base, the less you're going to have to spend on pay-per-click. So things like just a little story. I did this the other day, I had this job. Rob's B jobs. Everybody that Rob's ever worked with should be getting that little note. So look at what I've been doing with bees recently. They might never have bees, but at least they've got something that's interesting, that's non-salesy, and they can relate to, and it's got Rob's name all over it. I'm going to get this clicking thing done before too long. Apparently not. Oh. Increasing customer retention rates or going back to selling to your old customers could increase your profits significantly, because this customer who you've already paid to acquire, if you recycle them, so let's say cost of customer acquisition could be 30 quid. Let's say it takes 30 quid to get a customer. If you sell to them again, the second time it's only 15 quid because you've obviously sold to them twice. So the profit on the job suddenly becomes, if it's a 100 quid job, let's say, instead of having to pay 30 quid in acquisition costs for a new customer, you've cut that in half to 15 quid because you've sold to an existing customer. So your costs don't change, your profit goes up. Happy days at the bank. Does that make sense? James, I've heard James a couple of times, like Sean has, and he normally talks about customer cuddles. You heard him talk about margin and having margin in your business. And one of the things he's a big advocate of is customer cuddles, doing things that make your customers feel special. So just one example, we had a customer called Brunsfield, who Sean, I know, has done some work for. And she got an invoice that was wrong or something or other, and she was a bit annoyed. So we sent her some flowers, 30 quid, whatever it was. Didn't cost us much to do. It was Sean's idea, so I'll give him all the credit for it. But we sent her these flowers, and it's as if we're the only people who have ever bought her flowers in her life. All of a sudden, she's gushing about the way we do our business. Suddenly, the way we talk to her on the phone, the things that were problems before don't become problems, all because we sent her a 30 quid bunch of flowers. Not massive money, you don't have to do it to everybody, but just every now and again, making your customer feel special, recognising them. I mean, how many of you guys have a list of customers that you talk to? Email, text, anybody? Yeah. Rob, how often do you do it?
I try and do it at least once a month.
Okay, and do you get responses?
Yeah, from a couple, not from everyone, and you sometimes you'll only get like one person will get back to you, but better than nothing.
Better than nothing. So if
I
those
feel like I'm being proactive anyway. So.
yeah, but if those one or two customers buy from you again, they're effectively free because you've paid for them once, and you've recycled them and got them to buy from you again. You know, it's non-salesy stuff. We're not trying to sell them anything. We're just trying to remind them that we're there. It's us, because we know that they want us when they need us. Our job is to keep at the front of their mind so that we can be the one they call when they've got a problem. So apart from Rob, has anybody else got a list? Does anybody else know who their past customers are? Lewis? Kate?
But they all have if they look at the op system.
They all have if they look at the op system. There you go. So it's really important. I know it can be a faff and a fag and a ball's ache to get the customer information down. Email address, telephone number. I mean, you're going to phone them up again anyway, probably to make your second appointment or your third appointment, so you'll need that. But just getting the email address, we can drag it off the system. We can send stuff out to them, we collectively, because it's got to sound as if it's coming from you. We can send stuff, but they didn't employ me. They didn't employ the Pest Force machine to help them. They employed Michael, or they employed Werner, or they employed Andy or Graham. That's who they want to hear from. So it's got to sound like it comes from you. There are several dead easy ways to do it. Gail sends out hundreds of emails a week. Some of them she even means to send out. But she sends out hundreds of emails a week. And she doesn't spend hours and hours doing it. She's got a list. She writes an email. She bangs it out. Very effective. Extremely effective because it helps with our recruitment campaign. But the key is it doesn't take hours to do it. She's got a system. She writes an email. And frankly, Gail, that's the difficult bit, isn't it? Finding the email to write to get stuff out. But if you guys can come up with that and help us to create the email that you want to send to your customers, we're happy to help and get it out there. And they will spend more with you. If you spend more time on them, make them feel special, make them feel part of your gang, as James would have called it, they will respond. But you've got to be persistent. Rob says he does it every month. Brilliant. You've got to be persistent and you've got to be consistent. But you can't try and sell them anything because they don't want to buy anything. Everybody wants to buy stuff when they're ready, so we can't try and force stuff on them, the old double glazing salesman kind of way. It just doesn't work. You've just got to get them recognising you, knowing who you are, and calling you when they've got a problem. Oop. The only reason people won't engage with you is if you've given them bad service. All right, 1% die, but we can't really affect that. But only 1 in 8 of your customers will not engage with you again because of your products and service. It's all about the way they've been treated. So if you treat them well, they'll buy with you again. Now, of course, I've got the hang of this clicker thing now. We do need new customers. Of course we need new customers. But what do we look for? Do we want any old customer? Maybe, but that's a bit of a sort of broad brush approach. Maybe we want to be looking for customers in high value niches. Nice little job. This is Michael Pillar on top of a 2-storey house in Muswell Hill last week. Nice little solar panel job. And we're getting asked for that more and more now, solar panel, because we're putting stuff out there. Yeah, Jason's done a load. I've spoken to Jason about it before, but you know, this is in terms of your marketing spend for your return, this is a great niche to get into. Solar panel proofing, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds, depending on what it is and where it is. What'll it take you, Michael? Half a day?
2 hours.
2 hours, 100 quid's worth of product?
Did you get a shop? No, it's in the drawing.
So, you know, doesn't take very long to do, doesn't cost very much in product and stuff to actually do the proofing, yet we've made decent money out of this. Great niche. I'm sure you all do proofing. Anybody not do proofing? But how many of you go as far as, does everybody do drains and rat flaps? Yeah? Look at the theatre of this. You turn up.
It's got to be John Sage.
It is John Sage as it happens.
No one likes digging a driveway up more than John.
Nobody likes digging a driveway up more than John Sage, but
Wasps, get the drive dug up.
yeah. Cluster flies up with the drive. But, you know, you can't escape from the fact that he makes damn good money out of this. You know, he's invested in his kit. Of course he had. He's probably spent 3 or 4 grand. I don't know how much.
That
probably a lot.
was 10.
So he spent a lot of money on getting his equipment. But he charges £300, £400, £500 for half a day for a survey with a report, with a CD. It's good money. Who doesn't want to be paid 500 quid for half a day's work?
Angling water do it for nothing.
Angling water might do it for nothing. If you can get them, that's like,
Then you have to go and do it properly.
it's like council pest controllers. They'll come and do rats for nothing sometimes, but the customer often doesn't want to wait. And if we've got the opportunity to try and sell these high value products, then we owe it to ourselves to do it. There's some I was going to show you a video, but I can't get the technology to work, but it's basically just a video about that pipe open here, open in the bathroom. Guess where the rats are getting into the bathroom? I'm no pest controller, but even I could work that out. Bedroom window. But it's not all about big ticket items either. Yeah. Every job has an opportunity to upsell. Sean Banks outsources his post-rodent cleaning to this lady. Charges a fortune. Sean, how much do you charge for post-rodent cleanup?
minimum £48. So we clean under the kitchen units while we're there doing the final visit, and we've done the proofing, and then we offer a clean up service. So decontaminate.
Who else offers that service?
Sometimes. Well, because that service isn't charges for.
Yeah.
Probably about half of the room. It's just if you don't ask, you're not going to get the job. Yeah, a lot of times when I talk to people and guys about selling these kind of jobs, I get the answer, well, my clients won't buy it. Well, they certainly won't bloody buy it if you don't ask them. What's the worst thing they can do? Say no. We've got resources to help them understand why they should do this. Apparently there's 35 known diseases that can be passed on to people through rodent activity, and this is the kind of information that, as the experts, you all know and could and should pass on to your customers. You're not frightening them, you're not bullying them into buying anything, you're just giving them information to make a decision to spend more money with you. If it hasn't been nicked, this stuff. Another upsell opportunity. Use it, spray it, clean it, wipe it, deodorise it. I'm guessing if we offered this as a service every time we went to a rodent job, you'd get 50% take up, I'm guessing. Because people don't want their children to be in a house where mice and rats have been on the kitchen units. They don't want to be in a toilet where mice and rats have also been to the toilet. But you've got to put it out there and let them know, because they won't know that's available. You guys all know that's available. How many people buy that and use it? Again, about a third of the room. Another great opportunity. I think Louise, there she is. I think you brought some with you, haven't you?
Yeah, that's not everybody.
You're all going to get some of this for free. So please use it.
Not for drinking.
Not for drinking. Doesn't make a good creme de menthe frappe. But yeah, these are the kind of things that you just, I don't want to preach to you. You're all business owners. But I just want you to think about some of these things. So I know we're all busy people. You rush in, you do your job to the best of your ability, you do the paperwork, and you go to the next job. Just think about the upsell opportunities, the things you can do to make a few extra quid. You've worked bloody hard to get this customer. You've probably, one way or another, whether it's through a leaflet, whether it's through pay-per-click, or whatever it is, you've paid money to acquire this customer. So why not make the best of the customer opportunity that you can? That's it, thanks.